This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of the top 3 NASCAR series, send them through the N ratings algorithm, set them up by their provisional lineups, and set the forecast as they will be on race day, and we see what the computer says will be the finishing order on race day. In the truck series, a little bit of an upset. Drew Dollar making his first career truck start. He's been a little bit of a master on the super speedways in the ARCA series. He comes out in a KBM truck and he takes the victory just narrowly over Derek Kraus. Zane Smith, James Busher, Danny Bone also a part of the top 5, and then a bit of a big one up here on the tri-oval. Took out a few good names, Austin Hill, and a couple of DGR trucks. And in the Xfinity Series, it was Brandon Jones able to get to the line first, followed by Harrison Burton, AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, and Justin Haley. Several potential championship contenders up there in the top 10, including Austin Cindric and Michael Annett. Not the greatest of days, though, for everybody. Did have guys like Jeb Burton, Brandon Brown, Daniel Hemrick, Myatt Snyder, Ryan Sieg back here outside the top 30. Well, it is time for the Daytona 500. Clouds in the sky, a little bit of rain possible. We'll see if we can get this one in. Green flag flying here at Daytona. Not off to the greatest of starts for Alex Bowman's second career pole here at Daytona, both from the Daytona 500. He got one back in 2018 as well. It looks like Eric Almirola has the early advantage, pulls up into the high line just like Bowman did, but now Austin Dillon coming down the low side. Help from Christopher Bell from behind. And so the inside's working, the outside is not, even though the 48 tried to get in line with his teammate in William Byron. When it comes to where you could finish here at Daytona, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. Bubba Wallace leads the way. He has a few less races than some of the others on this list, but 14.9 for him. He has 2 top 5s here. He is trying to see what he can do for that new 2311 team. And his team owner is Denny Hamlin, at least one of the owners, and he is looking for his 3rd consecutive Daytona 500 win. He's got 3 victories here in this event. He's looking for his 4th. He currently runs on that outside line, trying to see if he can work his way forward. Kurt Busch is one of the more consistent drivers here. 13 top 5s. The next person down is 10. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Right now, the one car is kind of running at the back, trying to see how this all goes out. And you can see they're running 3 wide throughout this entire racetrack. This is going to be quite an exciting race if they keep that up. There you see Harvick, 15 top 10s for him. Was considered a heavy favorite for the championship last season, considering how many times he won. And unfortunately for him, he didn't even make it into the championship 4. He'll try to get some vengeance here this season. We've got some trouble exiting the tri-oval. Tyler Reddick, Corey LaJoie, and I believe that's Chase Briscoe, and there's going to be some contact up on the track. David Reagan also involved. They came back up the racetrack. Fortunately, most of the field had already gone by. That is going to put the 7, the 8, and the 36 into the wall. Chase Briscoe in his first Cup start also involved in that one. Heading back to the restart, a little bit of pit strategy puts Jamie McMurray out in front. 2 Spire cars full-time this season. McMurray getting back behind the wheel for the first time in 2 years. Kyle Busch kind of back here in a second pack. They might be able to suck back up to the first group. He's led quite a few laps here, just under 500 laps led for him. Hamlin the only one who has led over 500 laps among the active drivers. You see here, there's the reigning champion, Chase Elliott, out in front, and one of the favorites from last season, Kevin Harvick, working his way to the inside, but 9 car has a championship to his name. Going to see if he can make it 2-time this season and possibly go for a Daytona 500 victory. Oh, we have a little contact here, 16 and 18, 99, 4 wide, and Kaz Grala down on the apron. That's not going to work. They're going to go into the wall. Daniel Suarez, Kyle Busch, a little bit of contact there, and big hits continuing to happen. Quinn Houff, Joey Gase. There's the 33 of Austin Cindric. Got in on his speed in qualifying, and now it's going to be a junked-up race car. That is actually going to end out our stage, and Chase Elliott the first back to the line. William Byron, second place for him, and Alex Bowman down in 5th. 3 cars from Hendrick in the top 5 in this stage. Now Elliott is going to lead the way to start off stage 2. Started off just a little too well. He gets a big advantage over his teammate, but they are eventually going to catch back up to him with the draft. Looking at a couple of new faces and new places, and How about a couple of guys that are kind of related to each other in terms of this deal? Bubba Wallace went over to 2311 Racing. New team started up by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. And taking his spot at Richard Petty Motorsports, Eric Jones, who got drops from Joe Gibbs Racing in favor of Christopher Bell. We also see Kyle Larson making his first Cup start since last March into Hendrick number 5. A little bit of a number shift for them as they drop the 88 car. But we've got a problem with Larson as he has got something wrong underneath the hood. He is coasting down the racetrack and trying to get to pit lane. Fortunately, he is in turn 3 and 4. He should be able to make it, but that is going to put him out of this race. Alex Bowman, we mentioned the number getting dropped. Didn't have a lot of sponsorship help behind him, but since Jimmy Johnson had retired, he moves over to the 48, which has sponsorship from Ally. Going to see some green flag pit stops here, cutting it a little close to getting to the end of the stage. It's a little bit of a tricky situation. We're going to see if drivers maybe potentially choose to go back into the pits before the stage is over. Try to get some track position that way. Once they finish off these green flag stops, Kaz Gralla, Kaulig Racing, putting their car out in front. They were fortunate to get in. They were in probably the most precarious spot. But thanks to some of the other cars and their dual wrecking out, they were able to make the race. And Ryan Preece, he was able to make it on qualifying. Open car this season, doesn't have a charter to its name, but they were able to put up the speed in qualifying and also get the top spot in their duel. See William Byron working his way to the front, able to take the lead, but here we see coming down just a little bit before the end of the stage. Gonna set up a little bit of an interesting finish to this one. Kevin Harvick out in front, Kurt Busch, then Ryan Preece, Matt DiBenedetto, and Josh Bilicki finds himself inside the top 5 with a little bit of strategy. Kaz Gralla also up there doing something a little bit different, and it turns out that employing that strategy is actually going to put Josh Bilicki up at the front of the field. Going to give him a little bit of publicity. Probably not going to hold up, but we do have some contact here in turn 2, and Derek Cope, William Byron into the wall. Also going to collect Tyler Reddick and Ryan Preece with some heavy damage. I believe that's going to take him out of the race. The outside pole sitter for this one is going to end up with a bit of damage, probably going to end his chances at winning this event. On the restart, it's Martin Truex Jr. up in front, Joey Logano just behind, but there's another 4-wide situation here out at the Tri-Oval, and there's going to be a spinner here. Denny Hamlin spinning around, and so is Bubba Wallace. And car's going to come back on the racetrack and right in the middle of the pack. That's the 16 of Gralla. Kurt Busch gets nailed in the door by Corey LaJoie. 3 car also involved, that's Austin Dillon. Seeing the 43 of Eric Jones. A lot of cars torn up in that one. A lot of possible contenders in this race. We'll get back to green, and now it's Brad Keselowski out in front. We're looking at probably one more pit stop needed in this one. Martin Truex Jr. finding his way to the front. He got one stolen away from Hamlin in the 2016 event, and by the way, Hamlin does have some damage on his race car. He's a little bit further back. Here we go, the onboard from Matt DiBenedetto. You can see dent in the door came from that spin he had, and he is off the pace. He is probably not going to win 3 straight here. A little bit of strategy play here as we see Alex Bowman going down the pit lane, probably trying to short pit it, trying to get to the end of the race. But meanwhile, all 4 Stewart-Haas racing cars still up here in contention and at the front of the pack. See a few more drivers coming down for their final pit stop of the day. Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski among them, and the other guys are still kind of hanging out there, trying to see if they can run their entire fuel run and make sure they stay in the draft. Martin Truex Jr. leading the way, but now all the Fords come down. That is 3 of the 4 SHR cars, as well as Ryan Newman. And now here we see Martin Truex Jr. coming down. He's going to get his final pit stop. He's coming down with Ross Chastain a lap down. And he's going to be able to maintain the lead, but he doesn't have any drafting help with him right now, and the pack is coming. Everyone that is trying to race him for the lead, right behind him, here comes Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick. They're lined up, and they're trying to catch that 19 car. About 5 laps to go in this one. But we're going to have trouble here in turn 3. Anthony Alfredo and Ryan Newman get together. Cody Ware runs into the back of the 6 car, and the 38 goes for a flip. And this is going to be a race back to the line. coming to the checkers. Who's going to get there first? Truex Jr. on the outside. Harvick with a run, and the 19's going to get it. Very close call, but Martin Truex Jr. going to win it back to the line. What a run for him. Had a lot of strength in that 19 car. He was leading laps, but he is going to win a nail-biter at the line and just barely beat out Kevin Harvick, who is looking for another Daytona 500 win himself. So we look at the final finishing order. Harvick comes up second, Brad Keselowski third, and Josh Bilicki still stays in the fourth position. That is quite a run for the Rick Ware group, and props to them for just holding up there. Bubba Wallace fifth in his debut with the team, and Stewart-Haas Racing puts all four of their cars up there in the top 10. It was a bit of a wreck fest throughout the day, and we had a lot of cars that finished off the lead lap or off the track. You can see several of those, including Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick. They were able to stay on, but they were not able to stay with the pack and maintain ground to try to win the Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin, one of the drivers that drops out. He was actually slow on the backstretch on that last accident. Not sure if he ran out of fuel or something, but definitely had some kind of mechanical issue that dropped him off the track. And there were several good drivers, capable drivers that could have won this event that finished at the back of the field. Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, the list goes on and on. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoy the race, and we will see you all next time.